Chapter 27. The Value of Life. Although we realize that our life will not last forever, sometimes we still let ourselves drift into doing things that cause suffering. Sometimes we do things that we regret. Socrates, the famous Greek philosopher, once said that philosophy is preparation for death. If indeed this is the case, then we should ask ourselves, how do I live my life to the fullest? How do I live every minute of my life with full consciousness? In living our life, then, we should reflect on our own death in order to live a better life. Even though we may dislike difficulties and seek only happiness, there is no way to avoid suffering because life is a mixture of suffering and happiness. Instead, we should prepare for the inevitable suffering with a steady mind. Human beings are born with built-in forms of suffering, including aging, sickness, death. Every day these forms of suffering, in varying degrees, have degenerative effects on our lives. Instead of realizing and being aware of these suffering, we blind ourselves even further with trivial and insignificant things. For example, we will trouble ourselves when we desire to, let's say, have a spouse and children. We expect these things will bring us happiness. All of us are burdened with these same inherent sufferings. Thus, once we marry, instead of being happy, we are taking on the burdens, pains, and troubles of our loved ones. If we are married or have our own children, there is no need to describe and explain the hardships that will come with those responsibilities. The hardships are quite obvious. Even by remaining single, having to make a living and taking care of our parents, we barely have enough time to take care of ourselves. After marriage, we must play the role of spouse and parent to our children. Each role takes a tremendous amount of work, discipline, and patience. Thus, every day it is easy for family life to become more easily filled with attachment and worry. If we are tactful, patient, and insightful, we may be able to find a level of happiness in marriage, yet we still cannot break free from the suffering of death when it arrives. Being separated from loved ones is inevitable and renders us great grief. If we want to live a happy life, then we must learn to be tolerant of others and not burden ourselves with unnecessary suffering. Some people criticize this teaching, labeling it pessimistic. The truth is that it is reality. It is a realistic teaching that tells us how to deal with life's many different situations in order to live more happily and freely.